Coming up on this week's news, the word is tolls, and Indiana's governor just signed a bill to spread the word. A line item in Virginia's budget could eliminate tolling on the Coleman Bridge north of Norfolk in York County, and Oregon moves legislation to cooperate with Washington State on tolling the new Interstate Bridge on I-5. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this week's update of all that's coming down the pike. The Indiana Toll Road is the only toll facility in the Hoosier State, and until now, it really wasn't feasible to plan for a new toll road, but that has changed. A bill winding its way through Indiana's legislature has now been signed into law, making it much easier to implement tolls on interstate highways in Indiana. Governor Mike Braun signed the legislation into law last week, leading into Mother's Day weekend. The new law eliminates key restrictions on where the Indiana Department of Transportation could implement tolling, and it also removes a previous requirement for a feasibility study before planning. For his part, Governor Braun addressed a luncheon late last week in which he said tolling will be a necessary and growing part of the state's overall transportation budget as time progresses. He noted nearly 70% of traffic crossing the state on I-70, for instance, never stops in Indiana, adding wear and tear to roads without dropping a penny of sales or gasoline taxes. Eliminating tolls is on Virginia's mind, as evidenced by a line item in the state's budget for the biennium. That line item calls for removing tolls on the Coleman Bridge over the York River that connects York and Gloucester counties, even though the debt incurred to widen that bridge in the 1990s has not been fully repaid. That line item is part of the state's budget outline for the 2024-26 biennium, and it calls for the elimination of tolls on the bridge no later than January 1, 2026. That has caught the attention of Gloucester County, where a member of the Board of Supervisors recently told local media he expects a growth spurt in the county when tolls are eliminated. That's what happened in the 1970s when the original toll on the bridge was ended. County Administrator Carol Steele has also chimed in, saying the toll bridge on the road leading into Gloucester County was tantamount to an Achilles heel for development in the area. The line item proposal on the budget means that tolls are more likely to end later this year because the aging toll plaza was already due for demolition, and it is unlikely at this point the planned replacement plaza will need to be built. Back to adding tolls, this time in the far west, where Oregon's House passed a bill that will permit the state to undertake partnering with Washington State on tolling the new Interstate Bridge over the Columbia River, a project we've been telling you about for several months. That bill authorizes joint toll revenue management between the states and the establishment of a new account in the state treasury for tolls collected on the bridge. It also enables creation of rules to go after toll violators, but first, the bill moves to Oregon Senate for consideration. In case you missed it, MassDOT, that's the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and its Department of Transportation, announced there will be significant, intense congestion on the Massachusetts Turnpike during the weekends that follow this year's Memorial Day holiday. A bridge replacement over a commuter rail track in Metro Boston will force officials to close all but one lane of traffic in both directions between exits 123 and 125. That's in the Auburndale area just west of Newton. The specific bridge being replaced is just east of the I-90-I-95 interchange. MassDOT is warning of delays of 2 to 3 hours on the MassPike during two key weekends, during which construction crews will rapidly install prefabricated bridge units, which will greatly speed up the replacement of that bridge. Nonetheless, you may wish to avoid the area altogether. Construction and bridge replacement will narrow the MassPike to a single lane each direction, starting 9 p.m. May 30th through 5 a.m. June 2nd, and again during the weekend of June 20th to the 23rd. We will keep you up to date on these closures as they get closer on the calendar. One item that's coming up fast on the calendar is Memorial Day weekend, and we will preview that and holiday traffic in our report next week. Meanwhile, drive safely and avoid distracted driving. I'm Danny Pryor reporting for Turnpikes.com, the Turnpike Authority.